Masechta Avoda Zara. That I involved the last block of the Masechta, and we're starting Rav Amram. Let me just here. Okay. Okay. Sagt die Gemara. Ramelei Rav Amram Rav Sheshes. Rav Amram is the Shaita Rav Sheshes. Now we learned now Mishnah Hashapudin V'Haskela. The spit, which is used in the fire itself. The fourth line, number 4. No. I'm involved. 4, the fourth line. So if it's a shpud, a spit, or the v'haskala is a grill, that's mamash used in the fire. So the only way to be kasher is libun, with fire, leave until it becomes white. But here it says magilon bechamin. No, you boil it, you purge it in hot water, you put it in the bubbly water. And you see from so over here we say you don't need libun. It's enough hagala. Amalei Amram b'ri. Rav Sheshes said, Amram my son. What does kachim have to do with the hagala of a guy? So he says hacha over here by the kli that was used for kachim. The reason why they allowed hagala because hetera the meat was kosher. When does it become aser? L'mashal hakam chatas is yom v'layla. After the laila, it becomes noisa. And you chayiv kares if somebody eats a noisa. But they didn't start off with isa. The meat that was in the pot was kosher.
So what do you need hagala? What the hagala do?
The hagala is to kasher the noisa, to take the noisa, the isa out of it. So he says, but Hasam over there, by the kli that the guy used, Isura, Bala, it was lechatchila isa in the pot, and that's what it absorbed. So therefore, you need libun, hashtaker. The stronger hagala is libun. The shtaker kashrin is through libun, till white. You put it in the fire. Amarava said, "Kipolit, Isura kapolit." What's the chilik? The end results we're dealing with. What's absorbed in the kli? Isur. Either it's the Isa of Noisa, we're talking about that it was left over after Yom V'Layla by Chatos, or by Shlomim, Shnei Yom V'Layla Echad, but after the second day, it's Noisa. So we're talking about Isa in both cases. Why should it be any different? Isa is Isa. Very good. Elamad Abba says, Maya Hagola. What does it mean? Nami Shtifu Marika. He says, what is Bahamas the Hagola that the Mishnah mentions, L'gabi Kotchem, Shtifu Marika. Shtifa is oishwenken, is to rinse out. A merika is rubbing, is scouring, is like rubbing and cleaning a thorough cleaning, but with hot water. According to Rab Meir, it's a machlekes between the chachamim. Chachamim say merika is bechamim, shtifa is betzoinan. That's what the chachamim say. And
why should be everything with hot?
That what the Tanakama says, or Rabbi says the merika ushtifa is betzreina. So, but Rava says Hagola is similar to what it says in the Torah, shtifa merika by kachim, and merika is Hagola. Is the same thing as Hagola. If we're going according to the Chacham, that merika has to be done with hot water. So Zakni, what Amalei Abaye said back, me dummy. Could we then compare Hagola to Meriko Shtifa? Meriko Shtifa B'Tzainan is done with cold water. So Abai holds like Rebbe, who says that Merika is not done with hot water, it's done with cold water. So and Hagola B'Chamim and Hagola B'Cham. So how could you compare the two?
He was cold, he was hot.
Yeah. I don't know if I started from Amarava. Amarava Sev Kipolit. Rava said, "Save when the kli spits out what's in it." Isura kabal. Yeah, we said that kasha. Yeah, so we said Amarava. Rava answered, "Mayagola nami shtifa merika." So the Ram is the Mishnah in Zvachim is maskim that the shpud and the askila need libun also. It needs libun, and the hagola that it needs libun, and it also needs hagola. It needs both. For the Naisa, yes. Says the Gemara, from where do you see you need Hagola from the one in Zvachim? Because it says Shtifa Marika. So Abai asked, how could you say Merika Ushtifa is Hagola if the Merika Ushtika, according to Abai, is Bitzoinan? It's cold water and Hagola is done Bechamim. Alam Abai said, Yagid Olav Reyai. Learn out one from the other. Tana Hachad, here the Tana learns by the Kli of a Goy that he had Chazal Mashal. There, Libon, who I didn't like Hagola, but really you need Hagola. Where do we learn that out? From Kachin. Tana Hassan, by Kachin we learned Hagola, and really it means just like by the Goys, the Kli of a Goy, where you need a Libon. Who I didn't Libon, we learned out. It means living because we learn one from the other. I remember the story, and I told Zalman. Zalman didn't remember it. It was with the Megala Mukes. If you go to Europe, I don't remember. It's in the Amos cemetery where the Amos is. So the Megala Amukis, next to it, there's a matzeva that says Yagid Alav Reyai. What's the story there?
Yagid?
Alav Reyai, like here, the friend will tell about him. Here also, the friend tells about each one, learn out from the other. The friend tells that the state now Yagid Alav Reyai. What was the story? So I put it on GPT, I'll show you. And I asked the question, is there any tombstone that has the words Yagid Alav Reyai? And he tells me the whole story. So he says there's a matzeva that's right next to Megala Mukis. And what was the story? There was a young man that was passing by the city, I think, of Worms. And he goes to the Gabbai of the cemetery and he tells him he wants to be buried next to the Megala Mukis. So the guy says, Sugar, you come by, you want to be buried by the tzaddik? Who you? Yeah. So he says, okay, here's money. What? He takes up more money. Takes a big bundle of money. And the Gabbai said, Mach cheshbon zu sich. He says, listen, he's a young man. The older people, he's from the older people. He's planning to be buried. He's planning to be buried by next to the Megala Mukis. So he's going to take the money. He won't nicht verschreiben the guy who gave him the money, and he'll be in the cave. They're not going to be able to take him out. That day that he gave the money, that night he passed away. So where did they bury him? No, he buried him elsewhere. It wasn't on the Shima, so Bagrab him elsewhere.
He paid for it, though.
He paid for it. So that night, Man sagt, du weißt, Fox, Ed Koch, he sagt, he's gay. So they said when he died, they said, give him a gay in the head. Yeah. Anyway, so over here, the story with him, so huh? Yeah. Wow. So anyway, the kitzur to the guy came to this Gabbai in a dream, and he said, "The chutzpah, I give you money, and you don't honor the money. What your word? You promised you're going to put it." Anyway, he didn't know what to do, and he's summoning him to the Beis Shamayla. So at that time the Bach was around. The Bach is a Yelofim and Bach is a Pesach. You have the Bach, Meshach and Taz, and so he went to the Bach, and the Bach says, "Listen, if he's this taka deserving to be buried next to Megala Mukes, he'll be taken care of. The Eibishter he'll end up there somehow.
So you don't have to,
if he's deserving, don't get. It's
He
not,
died already.
yeah,
okay, so the Bach says whatever has to happen happens. Anyway, he got these dreams periodically, and he decided he's going to go to the Matzeva, his Mechila, whatever. He comes there. He comes to the place where he buried him. He's not there. It's an empty hole. He goes next to the Megala Mukis. He sees a sealed cave, and it's closed up.
He walked himself up and walked over.
I don't know. So on the Matzeva, it's written, nobody knew his name. So they put on the Matzeva, Yagid Alav Reyai. As the Megala Mukis will tell over about him.
Wow.
That's it, Yagid Alav Reyai. I'll show you after I cut off this.
When you talk, when you
Okay. Amalei Abaye answered back, if it's so that the Tana requires Libun and also Hagolah. So listening to l'kol v'chada, then learn one take either the kelim of Ovid Yichabim or by Kachim. Right, you need libun and hagala by one, but listen and learn, and the second one just write the kitzah, right? Either libun or hagala, and we'll learn out that one from the other. The lema Yagad Alavreya. That's how normally Yagad Alavreya works. That one tells you you need both. The other one he wrote the kitzah, he only wrote one, and you learn Yagad Alavreya that you learn one from the other that you need both. But write one here, one here, it doesn't make sense. Rabbi said, Kachim, Hainotamai. It says the reason taka by Kli of by Kachim, it doesn't need Libun. Like Rav Nachman said in the name of Rab Baravua. Oh, okay. The Oma that Rav Nachman Rab Baravua had said you don't need Libun. When it comes to the Kli of Kachim, Clay Kachim, you don't need Libun. What's the time? The Oma, because Kol Yom Yom Nasi Yigel Lachaveri. Because it's one after the other. It never gets a chance to absorb the nicer, to turn into nicer. Because you're constantly using the kelim of kachim without water, and it keeps on spitting out the nicer. So there's never nicer there. And then the Gemara is going to ask, if there's never nicer, why do you even need hagola? The Gemara is going to ask. Okay, frankly, but a shlamim. I understand if the first keli that you had was the shlamim, and you're not worried about Nisa because Shlamim is Shnei Yom V'Laylecha. So you have one night, you have one day, then the night, then comes the next day, he's Makav Chatas. So the Chatas, when he's Makav Chatas, there was no Nisa because it would spit it out.
Like, using
the same keli, yeah, and it never became Nisa. But it says that only makes sense by a shlamim. But what's if the it was never nicer because you're right away using it without water. In fact, let's say you started off with a chatas. The chatas is yom v'layla, but right when the next day he's gonna bring the next carbon, it's already nicer. That's what he's asking.
Because already in the morning.
In the morning, it's already nicer. A chatas is the day and the night. But the next morning, when you want to be making the next carbon, is already nicer from the chatas.
So you have to be kasher.
So the l'chayda over there, it's just like any keli that's nicer. You need both in l'chayda. Chatas keeping l'yem v'layla misachla. Since the chatas is for a day and a night that you could eat, and then afterwards it becomes nicer. Kimevashel bo ha'idna, when the mevashel now, the chatas. So you find the next day having nicer. When you're being mavas the new chatas, you have in the walls the previous chatas of nicer. So kihadu mavas balamacha oy shlamim oy chatas kapolit nicer chatas the ha'idna big chatas u'shlamim lamacha. The nicer of the chatas of the previous day is going out into the chatas and the shlamim of the next day. Over here it's talking about the when he's mevatel the chatas today. In the same day he's also being mevatel. He's not waiting. No, shlamim you bring right after most of the time. You bring a shlamim after chatas, and shlamim was brought up constant. Shlamim is 2 days and 1 night. So even if he brings the next day a chatas, there was no nicer because the shlamim canceled out the chatas. Took care of the chatas.
So the chatas was a day and a night. So in the morning already.
In the same day of the chatas, he burned the pot again for shlamim.
On the same day.
The same day. Now the shlamim has 2 days and a day, a night, another day. So the next day is not noisa because it's from the shlamim. Says the Gemara, the chatas l'macha u'shlamim de'etma b'hadei atadi because shlamim is nayu. They come simultaneously in the same day and at the same time. If that's the case, that there's never going to be Naisa, Hagola Nabin Lebayi. You shouldn't need Hagola at all, because there's never Naisa, there's never Isa. So you want a kasha, it's not Ke'ochin. Zakut kasha. Okay, Papa. The kasha blight. He's the mice of it. Huh? Never Naisa by Kachim. Yeah. Not here, not the Naisa that's in the Kalim. It's a different type of noisa that they leave the meat after.
Yeah.
The keli not.
No problem.
Okay. Zok the Gemara Rapapa says there's a chilik. So they don't. So it's therefore they don't accept this teretz. It says over here, the Gemara doesn't accept the teretz of Rava, because if so, you wouldn't need Hagolah like we just asked.
And we had a goal.
And there's always Hagolah. There's no need for Hagolah. So therefore, he goes back to the previous
You
answers.
want to be Mehada?
Huh?
You want to be Mehada?
Yeah. But he's no. You don't have to be Mahada when there's no Issa. I hear you. I didn't realize.
What if you had a hefsek zman that you didn't bring a shlomim?
No, but they always. He
You
says
bought a
that.
you bought a chattis, right? So the more,
Yeah, but he said they brought shlamim.
if
Always
they
about
didn't
a
bring a
chatas.
shlomim right away,
Then it would be takat noisa. Then you were takat in Agola, but usually you brought shlamim there. In the same day, yeah. There was shlamim. There were much more shlamim than chatois. And you're talking about in the Beis Hamikdash was full of people. It was constantly being used.
Yeah, but let's say there's one chattis after another chattis, not a shlomim coming by.
So chatas the next day. Yeah, but there's always a shlamim in the day. You don't say one chatas a day.
No, but I'm saying that after the chattis, there could be there's a hefsek zman.
But it's usually, he's trying to say not, because there was a broader shlamim always
That's what
after.
Rava said, right?
Yeah. And it seems like it was accepted that there was brought, the shlamim brought. Rapapa gives a chilik between the bliss kli of Aivit Kechavim and the bliss kli of Kotchim. Hi, Korid. When you're talking about a kli of a goy, he doesn't constantly use it. So when it's Beleya the Iser, by the time he uses it the next time, it's in the walls, but it's hardened in the walls. So that's that. In order to get it out, it's Hagolah is not going to be enough. We have to go Lakuliyam. Rav Meir says Noisim Tam of Gam is still usher. So we're saying cut it. It became very hardened. The only Hagolah won't be enough. You're going to need libun. Hi, but
the keilah from a goy is not nice and calm.
it's Easter in it.
It's
in it. Yeah, but okay, but if you want to say that way, yeah. But he's saying over here, let's say even according to Hamei, he's going to Kuliyam, it says not even Tamagam is usher, but it's cut it, and it's not going to be enough. It's already hardened in the keli. You need libun. Hi, but the belief of the kli kachim, since they do it, much more often, like cut it never gets hardened in the walls of the kli. So the Hagala is enough. That's Papa's answer. Really, like we said originally, Hacha had Teda Bala. Here by Kachim, the gush, the dava gush, the hard piece of meat of Kachim was Torah heter. When did it become Isur? Even when it swallowed in the wall, it was still heter. But La'achazman, it turned into Noisa. Hacha Isur Bala. Here, L'chatchila, the dava gush was a shtik chazeh. And it was Beileya Chazer. It's Beileya given Chatchila Yisr. So when in such a case, it's much more Chama. So then you need Libun. The Bidna, the Kapalat, Yisr the Kapalat. The Bidna, the Kapalat, like Yisr, Yisr Be'ena, says Yimara. Ayu the Kakashalach, I'm sorry. Ayu the Kakashalach, the Bidna, the Kapalat, Yisr the Kapalat. Are you going to say, who cares? But Pel Mamish at the end, there's Yisr in both walls. That's Yimara. It's still different. Bidna, the Kapalat, like Yisr, Yisr Be'ena. But in the time when it's spitting it out, you don't have the mamash the ke'isa in there, because it was heta. The wall was beleya heta, and in the wall it turned iser. So it's not iser that's and the ke'isa. Isa was his mamish is still there. It's a heta that in the walls it turned into iser. But when you're talking about by the shtik chaza of the goy, it was a kush diker shtikol chaza. The wall was beleya isur, so the chatchila was beleya isur. It's much stronger. But there you need nishna hagola. You're going to need libun. How much? What's the share of whitening it? Rabbi said, Mani said, you have to be melab nekelim ad shetasha kidli pasam till you melt off the sholachs. the peels. No, but when we're talking about the keli, even the shine till everything that till comes the shine of the keli comes off because of the heat.
So you ruin the keli then?
It's the shine of the keli comes off. So you might have a mag-ilan. How do you purge the keli with hot water? You take a small pot and in a big pot, a pot that's boiling with water, bubbling. You put in a small pot. That's how you kash in a small pot.
And the water goes over. The hot water.
Sure, the hot water, the whole keli is inside the big pot. In fact, how about Yoda Gedoila? A big pot, a calderon, a big pot. Oh, he can't put it in another keli. That's the biggest keli there is. How do you do Agala? So the Gemara Tashma, come in here and I'll answer you. Who do the Havoi be Rav Akavia? There was a big pot in the house of Rabbi Akavia who bought it from a guy, and he had to kash it. Get done for the lisha apuma. He put how do you call it? A piece of dough around the rim and he put it around the rim, so the rim should be higher. The water, and he filled up the hot water to the rim itself. And now, when it's bubbling, so it covered the whole keli. The bubble's over.
Right.
That was the whole problem here is the rim. You want to kasha the rim of the keli also.
Yeah.
So by putting the tape,
So make sure
it goes on top of the rim.
But how does it get under the rim itself? If it's covering the tape, is covering the dough is covering the rim.
The outside rim, not the inside. The outside. The outside of the rim. He brought it out. Who's such a chacham to do hagala in such a way without putting it into another pot? Who came up with this hamtzah? He says the only person who could come up with such hamtzah, if not for Rav Akavia, who's a great man. Kasava, he held kibele kach peltek ma bele b'netzitzis, just like it. The rim, how does it absorb the iser? Because in the pot it's cooking, and then you have little sparks of hot, or you're talking about a shpud, but the sparks come on top of it, or you're talking about a keli, the sprays that come on top, the bubbles that spray up and it goes onto the rim, because the rim is not really in it. So he says, just like it's baileya, you could be pilot with the same boiling hot water, and then it sprays on the rims.
You don't have to put the dough.
The dough you need, because that's the only way it's going to hit the rim. It's
out.
not going to go out.
Wasn't the thing that you used to boil it and put a stone in there, and that's even
Today, like Heisavas, like Tashtain, Ashtain mit a crate, and you put it over. No, this if you want to, we do it.
Was on the fire, was a hot
Yeah,
stone. Then
yeah.
you put the water, the water
Boils the water, right? I still do that. I pulled him for Pesach, the kasha, the countess. I pulled b'netzitzis. So too, it spits out b'netzitzis by putting by letting the sprays of the bubbles of the water hit it. When it heats up the water, it hits the rim on the top, and that's how it's going to be pilot. Hasakin shofar. How do you kasha a knife? He says you scrape it against the stone, but that's how it becomes. Yeah, we learned this yesterday. That it becomes tired. Omar Rav Ukva Bar Chama, Rav Ukva Bar Chama had gesagt, "V'noyatza asara piyam bakarka." You stick it in the ground 10 times. Yeah, so that's not hard to add. We're going to talk about it. It has to be harder.
What do you mean hard?
Hard because if it's soft earth, it's not scraping it. It's not doing the job. It has to be able to scrape the
How
knife.
long is it supposed to wait? Just a day or two, or just right away?
No, right away. After you do it 10 times.
Why 10?
It's only in karka that wasn't worked on, so it's hard karka. That's when that's the only way it could be table. So before he says, it seems like besides scraping the knife, Rashi says, then he has to put it 10 times in the ground. Besides just scraping it like polishing the knife, you're scraping it, you stick it in the ground.
It's only if there's Isser in the knife.
Sorry, we're going to talk about it. So I said, you want to? Rav Kahana says it has to be the sakin yafa she'ein ba gumis. It has to be a sakin that doesn't have any holes in them, because if the tag or whatever is stuck in it, it's not going to get it out. Only if it's a smooth knife, then it's going to be gekasher. Umpgimis inside in the blade. There shouldn't be. The beginners do that in the end, but here he means even the body of the knife. Yes. Tanya Nami Hach. We also learned in the Brisa similarly. Sakin Yafa she'ein ba gumis. A sakin Yafa was hat nicht kein Gummis, hat nicht kein indentations. No yatzor asar piyam ba kaka. You put it 10 times into the kaka. So Yeshua, this hechsher helps with a knife only lechol ba tzoinen, to be able to eat cold. Otherwise, you're going to need. So he says, then you're going to have you're going to have libun hagola. But if it's for tzainen, it's fine. You really it's hagola. You need, because it's not something that you put in the fire. Only something that you use in the fire, like a shpud, a spit, or a grill. That you need libun. A knife you don't know fire, but a hot water you put it in. So then you need a hot water to take it out. But if you're eating tzaina, this is enough. Putting it in 10 times. So the Gemara kiha, like this story, the Ma Yehuda ubati bab tuvei. I'm not going to finish till the end. I'm going to leave 2 words at the end. Oh, the Ikidabri for the siyum. For Chayel, I think we'll do Chayel of the siyum. It's ein Chayel, Rabbi Shapiro. Chayel, it's Mabringen. Yeah. Yehud Mar Yehuda ubati bar tuvei. Next week, I think Wednesday or Thursday. I'm going to look on the calendar in a second. The Ma Yehuda ubati bar tuvei. Have a Yasser Kamedo Shavar Malka. They were sitting in front of the king Shavur, who was the king of Persia. I onat die kent Tasach Lena. As again, I go up, they kent Tasach Lena. I Sula Kaim Esrik. Yeah, very educated. And they brought before him an Esrik. So the king of Shavur, Posak, he cut pieces of the Esrik, and he ate from it. Then Posak, and he cut again. Havlo, and he gave a piece, Lebati Batuvi. He cut another piece and he said, "But nah, S."
That's my kid.
And now, Hada Dotza Hasada Zimni Bi'ada Pasak Havle Lama Yehuda. Then afterwards, the king.
The knife was kosher?
So it was his knife. It's a Goyish knife. So before giving Ma Yehuda a piece of the Esek, he said, "I'm going to first kasher it." He stuck it in 10 times. Then he cut a piece and he gave it to Ma Yehuda. He said on himself, Ich bin nicht kein Yid. Was hast du nicht gekashet by me? Why did you only kasher by my Yehuda and you gave it to him only after you stuck it into the ground 10 times? But by me, it's the guy, you cut a piece, he gave it to me. Yeah. So he's Amalei. So the King Shavu said to Bati, Mar Kimle Begavei, your master, my Yehuda, to me, he looks like a purush, that he's not going to eat, he won't care. If I'm giving, and it's like Smeir of Malchus, because he's the Melech Malcham Malchim comes before him. He knows Afruma, he's not going to eat it. But you look a little bit of the Sahaba. Then you'll take this piece. Yeah, I'll let you. So you don't need it so badly like that. So I'm going to have to stop over here because I want to use it for the scene.
So you do the halacha, the guy.
Sure. So he was happy with that?
Huh?
He was happy with that?
No, he ate it already. Okay, but Bati Batuva was really avid. He didn't do anything wrong, even in the second shot. We're going to learn about it. So L'cheda was okay. So what was the problem? Okay, we're going to have to stop it.